Well, it's a good thing I'm out here to do the oil pan because that's the steering rack leaking. The oil pan usually drips over there, but yeah. Hey everybody, let's go to school on the Daily Driver. The 2003 Mazda Tribute. She's got some Earl leaks. Oil pan gasket for a long time. And I'll show you another thing. I've done a couple alternators on this. You can get it from the top. First one I paid for. Second one I was like, alright, I'm going to do this myself. So I got it out from the top. And that one failed. And I'll tell you why. Because power steering fluid leaks onto it. And so if you got any leaks, you got to get that power steering hose. I think it sits right above it. Well, that's the alternator there. And that hose in the loom right there, I think it was that hose. Goes right above it and it leaks down and drips right into the alternator. So that's for you guys. Anybody else got that issue? Well, my oil leak is the pan. Maybe the top of the engine too, the front seal. But see this stain? It magnetizes. Get that out of my hand. This is a oil stain on the exhaust from where the pan has been dripping. Right. Drips down right on it. So that's going to be done. And my latest leak I've noticed too is over here on this side. This will be the driver's side. Over here we'll get some power steering fluid. And it looks like the steering rack is leaking. And let's get you way upside down here. I'm gonna rotate you. Don't get dizzy. Don't. Just look away. Look away from it. All right, there we go. Yeah, those lines up there could be. They're a little wet, but most of those, I don't know. A rack is probably the way to go. Back in the day, you don't touch these things. As soon as you open them up, they keep leaking. But I haven't done the oil pan because this exhaust has to come off. And being a New Englander, I was like, that thing's never going to come off. So I went one day under here and I think I rounded that nut. I tried to get it off by hand. Where's that one now? It looks like this other one's a little rounded. So I was like, nope, not going to do it. And this is when I lived in an apartment building. I was going to do it in the garage. So fuck that. Now I'm going to stick this in the garage to do this job for sure. But, yeah, there's some front of the, I think the intake manifold, the end seals are leaking. You know, where it sits on the block. But I'm going to do this oil pan. I have the gasket, I've had it for a while. And I think it's time for an oil change anyway. So this will be the next item up for bids here on The Price Is Right. What oil leak? So yeah, oil pan's only going to be part of this. I took the side cover off here. And we're going up. I always thought my power steering pump leaked, but I don't see. I think this is oil from right on that bolt there. That's the ends of the intake, like I said. And the reason I say that because all V6s, V8s leak right there. And up on the end, up on the other end of the intake, up top is oil leak too. So over here, if you look, I got green. And you think, well, that's coolant. No, that is on my air conditioning lines. And it is oily. It tastes like oil. So that is probably the green dye in the refrigerant. So I think that refrigerant line is leaking too. So But this oil pan needs to be done. And you can see I've already rounded this nut over, but I got it loose. They're just a horrible soft nut. But this crossover pipe's got to come off. I'm just exploring today. I'm just going to loosen it up. Make sure I can get the bolts loose now. But there's the alternator right there. And what makes this job such a bitch is you have to take the axle out. They put it at the back of the engine. But yeah, like I said, oil gets right into power steering fluid the line runs right over the top of the alternator. Mine was dripping, and it just killed my alternators. As soon as I changed that line, I haven't done one in years. But too funny. Some of the newer ones had a shield that went over the top of it, and most people just don't put it back in because it's a pain in the ass, but that's what happens. It's there for a reason. Woo! Alright, I got lucky there. Got some MAP gas, because it burns hotter than propane. And I was able to get that one. That was the one I rounded off really good a long time ago. And this one's alright. But I'm going to get 4 new nuts. Obviously, because that's got to be done now. That is somebody rolling a dumpster down the street. Okay, sounds good. But this guy, yeah, she's stuck in there, but I'm gonna take this nut to the store and get that thread. Well, hello, Mr. Power Steering Leak. Well, I cleaned this up the other day I don't know, did I show you that? But that little clamp right there is not seated. See that little, that pipe right there. Finger, where's the finger? Ah, there it is. That little pipe right there is supposed to be in that. So maybe I'll get lucky. That's just it. I'm going to see if those lines are tight. Everything's wet again, so I'm going to clean it up and then run it. Let's see if we can, hopefully it's not this bottom leaking too. That plug. Okay, let's see if we can clean that up, tighten it up. Get your some eyeball action up there for you guys. See that? Ooh, see that little stream already starting? So it's coming right out of that line that I said could be the one right above it. The one above it, I believe, is the one I replaced. Let's see. This, I think that's the return line. Let's get a look at it. Yeah, it's loose in there with that little, it spins, it rotates, but I know some power steering lines are like that, but let's see if that's the case. I wonder if I can get just an O-ring for that. I didn't realize it was leaking that bad. You're parking in a different spot every day, you don't realize the puddle your car leaves. Okay. Well, do we continue with the oil pan, or do we look at this mess? I went ahead and took the best 99-cent store O-ring kit I had in my toolbox. I was able to get an O-ring on there. I need to get some more power steering fluid, though. That's a little bit low. I ran it, turned it. Don't appear to be leaking now. Wow. Well, let me go back this off the now jack stands, because car ramps, I don't think I like car ramps. I never have, because I needed to turn the wheels. I couldn't do it. And let me get it back down, and I'll take the truck to the store and get some fluid. And I might as well get this drain plug. My oil pan, it's always been tight. The threads are kind of wonky, so I might as well do that. And the more I look at this oil leak, I think it's all up top. I think someone's been in here and done the pan. But I got some degreaser. Maybe I'll clean it up and diagnose this right. So I'm going to go ahead and say that 99-cent store O-ring did it. That lower line is my return line, so it's not pressure. There was a little drip when I got back from the store, but it's just everything that's still in here. I'm probably going to take it for a ride to the car wash, degrease everything. Or maybe I'll just degrease it out back here. I did pick up some other O-rings. I don't know if they would have done it either. I think there's some... I almost bought AC O-rings because they're like a different rubber. I think they're a little bit better. And I got a new drain plug for this thing too. But, I don't know. It's kind of warm today. It's like 80 degrees in LA. I don't feel like sweating out here. Jacked her up. Degreased all underneath. I'm going to get the hose now and blast away this crap. And the power steering leak seems to be good. Alright, it flukes. Still got a little, one drip out here this morning. Put down some cardboard. This is after I drove it. So that O-ring is still leaking. So that cheap 99-cent store O-ring did not do it. It's either the O-ring or the line. Maybe it's a little wonky from being worn, I don't know. And I cleaned the oil pan. I think this pan has been done because it's a gray. Let's zoom in here. It's a gray caulking silicone. And the next, that's probably original. There's black. Let's see. And over here, I'm not sure if that staining is from me cleaning, but this is where it drips. Let me zoom back there for it. This is where it drips down on the exhaust. So this corner might be leaking. It was a little wet this morning still, but not. So I just cleaned and wiped it all down. And let's go slowly over here so I don't make you sick. And this is, yeah, the front of the engine corner. But I cleaned all around up. The only other spot might be the oil pressure sender is behind the AC compressor here, and I've seen some videos on that leaking. Well, they say the usually the oil light will come on, but anything like a GM, they just start leaking. So this is the oil filter. It's up behind there. I'll clean it up and keep an eye on it. Oh, thinking this has all been replaced. So the next best bet would be the front cover. I was looking at the interwebs on this engine. The timing chain cover leaks. And there's no valley gasket like I was thinking, like a V6, V8. I don't think there is, because I think it's that would be for a single cam engine. This is got the overhead cams. So we'll keep an eye on this, see if we can. I did get some other O-rings. Maybe I'll try it. Let's see. I don't feel like draining this, but might have to. I ever tell you how much I love batteries and Bluetooth and shit's always dead. It's like if you don't charge it immediately, which is the worst thing to do for a battery, is just use it for a little bit, charge it up, use it a little bit, charge it up. But that's the only way you get anything done. Alright, I'm going to poke our heads back under this oil leak. Geek. So I'm glad I degreased and cleaned this up, because it does look like the front cover is leaking. And also these, remember the green on those AC lines again? Look, it's back. And it's not coming from radiator or anything, so it's got some dye in there. But you can see the oil pan is wet right there, but it's coming from above. Actually, right here it looks like it's I would say oil pan, but if we were to come around, let me spin my body. Here's the oil pan lip. She's wet down here, but we go up. Not too much light on there, do I? Where the fuck is the lens shooting? Oh, there it is. Okay. Way over yonder. See, it's all wet up here. That's going to be the front cover. And that's the power steering pump, and it's not wet. See in the pulley there? Just can I sneak you up in here? Can I get a little focused in there? Oh yeah, look at that. There's all oil. But this is... Where's the fucking lens? That is the bolt there. We go a little bit higher. There's our pulley. I wouldn't say that pump is leaking, so yeah, it's front cover. And here's our crank pulley. That seal looks decent. It looks soaked. But everything is gonna be front cover. And what front cover is this right here. There's like an inch thick plate, and all these bolts bolt to the front of the engine. So, and that's my oil coming down right here. Too much light, but yeah, there it is. That's all, and it comes over and drips right on the exhaust. You can see a little bit on my axle there. And get some of this light. It's too bright, washes it out. There we go. If I bring you back under the pan gasket's good. Like I said, I think somebody did do it, but it looks like the now we're looking at the rest of it, the front cover. That's something I want to do right now. Not in a rush for that. And then of course the power steering is, that line is leaking still. Get you up there, hold tight. There she is, right up there. That line is still dripping down on the frame. So I might get that line. I could try and do another O-ring job. Either way, I gotta drain all the fluid, so it's either do it once or whatever's. There's a bunch of oil here, but it must be just coming back from, yeah, this pan or front seal. No, front cover, Mike, front cover. Jesus. I wonder if it's, I don't know. Yeah, it's definitely coming down. It could be both again. I gotta take the pan off anyway to do that front cover. So yeah, it's a job. Not too bad of a job, I guess. It's AC comes right off. You know what? Why don't I get the Borescope out that I couldn't get to work the other day, and we'll sneak up above this compressor and look at that oil pressure gauge, see if that's leaking. Alright, see, that's better. As I move it, it follows. I think it was just almost dead the other day when I tried to do it, so I think I can record with the, yeah, just hit the record app, so I'll try and insert this. Alright, rather than upload this, I'll just share it here. Not the best focus on this device, but here I was getting up underneath, get a lot of glare. There's a light adjustment on it, but that's the oil sender right there, and that's just rust there. That's not oil, so I know my oil sender's not leaking. Yeah, sorry, first time using this. And you see I get glare back from the lights. That's the camera. It's reflecting back for some reason. But yeah, that helped out in this situation. But if I was looking for very fine detail, I don't know if I could. I'll keep playing with this, but that looks pretty clear there. But I looked at a bolt up close after this, and it was not very clear. I tried zooming in on this, or this bolt where it says 8.8. You know, and if you get right in there with the Borescope, you know, like say you were in the, I had to be back this far to be in focus. Like you can't get up right on it. So I would think a little better focus would be better for this tool. But that's that, dude. Hope everyone I'll keep you posted if I do some leaks on this in the future. Aight.